I'd like to introduce Stephen Davis, co-founder of Nikki, demonstrating how wearable resonance technology can address the limitations many experience with conventional trackers like Whoop, Oura Ring, and Apple Watch. Can I get a round of applause, please? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. This is on. My name is Stephen Davis. I'm based out of Canada, and I just wanted to introduce today a product that we're launching on a global basis. And today it's going to be a little bit about vitality, but I'm going to share a little bit about how we got there. And so I don't know how many people in this room are familiar with Lyme disease, but this is where it all began. That's my daughter and two of my grandsons. And they had Lyme disease for 12 years. And in North America, Lyme disease is out of control. I just was in Washington, D.C. speaking, and they told me that they felt that there was 40% of Americans that have Lyme disease, and there's no solution. I'm not sure. How's that? Is that better? Okay. So I was just in DC, and they had me do a little bit of a talk about what we're doing with Nikki. And they pulled me off to the side, and they believe that 40% of Americans have Lyme disease. And there is no solution for Lyme disease unless you catch it within the first 10 days. It's a tick-borne disease. Is this room pretty familiar with Lyme disease? Okay, well, it's not really rampant here, but it is in other parts of the world. And so it took 12 years for me to figure out a program that was going to solve the issue for my kids. In 2016, we launched our first trial. They were in the trial, and they have never had any symptoms since. It took 3 weeks after the trial that their symptoms all went away. And so I got my family back, and I didn't go out to set up a business. I was just a desperate dad. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a mad scientist. I just knew a little bit about frequencies, and I thought nobody else is using that to overcome, and so we built something. And what we ended up building is a product that we call Nikki, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. And so Nikki is a technology, it's just a wearable. And this product is being used for overcoming health issues. I'm sure that everybody, not everybody in this room maybe, but I bet there's a lot that use tracking devices, like a Whoop, or an Oura Ring, or an Apple Watch. And the thing about those devices, they use frequencies to discover what an issue might be, but there's no solution. As consumers, we have to go and find a solution to overcome a health issue or a stress-related issue. And what our technology does is we have identified a way to overcome. And so it's just a wearable, you put it on, and when we do this, it's not one frequency at a time. Like they'll use one frequency to go and discover something, but like we discovered with Lyme disease, it took 74 different plant-based frequencies to go into the body at exactly the same time in order to overcome. These frequencies, they go into the body, the cellular network picks them up. If they need that information, they send it through your entire system, it goes through your nervous system and wakes up your immune system to the health issues that it's ignoring. And when we discovered that with one of the most deadliest diseases out there, where there's no solution, we started to think, what would happen if we started to apply that to other diseases or general wellness? And so we started with general wellness. And if you have a sleep issue, for example, we're going to put 202 different frequencies into the body at exactly the same time. And that's how we're overcoming these issues. And your body responds in a very profound way. If you've got a Whoop or an Oura Ring, I'll give you an example. So this here is one night with Nikki if you have a Whoop. And it doesn't matter if it's a Whoop or an Oura Ring, it doesn't matter what you're using to track, you're going to get the same results. They just may come up different in your apps. But this particular program, you can see the recovery is at 85%. That's using it the first night. The next night, we took it off. And this is the result for the next night. And so you can see that recovery had dropped to 48%, almost by 50% in overall. And so when you're using our technology in conjunction with a wearable that you're tracking, you're going to be able to measure your own results. You're going to be able to see that we're providing a solution that's going to help you overcome the issues. So you don't have to spend the time to go and change your lifestyle, change your eating habits, even though you may need to do some of that stuff. But if you use Nikki, Nikki is going to definitely create an option for you to overcome the things that you're finding that have gone wrong. And so the programs that we're doing right now, we have hundreds of programs. Each program has multiple frequencies in it, anywhere from 50 to 500. And they all go into the body at exactly the same time in every program. And that's how this is how Nikki is overcoming. And so some of the three pillars that we use here is we've got the sleep, the stress, and the energy. Those are three things that are very common with most people. If not, one of those is going to touch everybody in this room, if not all of them. And so these particular programs, you know, Nikki is designed to be a daily wearable. You use it 24 hours a day. I use mine 23 hours a day. And these programs can be incorporated into your clinical programs. You know, there's a lot of companies here today that are frequency-based technologies. How's that? Oh, wow, that's way better. Okay, so there's a lot of companies here today that are frequency-based. In fact, most of them are. And our technology doesn't go out to replace any of those technologies. We work within that. If you have a light therapy and people are coming into your clinic, when they leave, they should leave with a Nikki on to continue that process in between clinical visits. It doesn't matter if you're using supplements. We support those types of programs as well. Supplements, what are they? They're just frequencies. And so these supplements, we've got 300 different supplement companies approaching us because they've discovered that when we capture their frequency and put it on a Nikki, we're delivering a very similar, if not the same result. So you don't have to take the supplement. But one of the things that we've discovered is if you take the supplement and the frequency, efficacy goes way up. And so you can use our product in conjunction with every other modality or every other health program that you're doing to improve your life in order to improve vitality. Our technology fits within every application. And so that's one of the benefits with what we do. We support everybody. We don't try and take away or say that we're going to replace. We enhance and support. And we prove that out every day. Now, if you want to just use the Nikki on its own with these programs, you're going to get very good results. But there's lots of different, sorry, I keep sliding it down. And so those are the kinds of things that we do. We are launching globally right now. And being here in this market, we've had such great response. Most people that we've come across, they've got some kind of wearable that they've got on. They're tracking their own results. And they're finding that when they use Nikki, they're discovering that the results that they're looking for to help them overcome the inefficiencies in their health, they're overcoming that. And so that's what we're trying to do today in the way that we introduce. We've got a program today that if you take a Nikki at this particular event, we decided that we're going to give away 4 programs. And these 4 programs are the pillars that would include sleep, stress and anxiety, energy, and a vitality program. And just to give you a bit of an example, The programs that go into these, the Vitality program, for example, here's just an example of some of the frequencies that are in that program. So you get not one frequency, but anywhere from 50 to 500 frequencies in any given program. And you have to understand a frequency, it's just information. And so we're providing the cellular network with the information that it needs to wake up the immune system to the issues that it's ignoring. And the success that we've learned from Lyme disease and start applying it to all disease or general wellness, we're winning. We're biohacking the body in so many different ways. When we biohacked Lyme disease, I didn't even know what biohacking was. We just went after bringing on as many different plant-based programs that we could to combine them. And when you send all these frequencies into the body, they don't combine to make some weird cocktail of some kind. Frequencies stay individual. So if I want to put 50 frequencies in to deal with 50 different issues, I can do that. Where you can't really take 50 different supplements at the same time to try and think you're going to overcome 50 different issues. And so we like what we do. We've got passion behind what we do. We've got results behind what we do. You know, we've done trials, we've got data. But where the biggest data comes in for us is people that have their own wearables for tracking. They don't need somebody telling them that they've got so much, that they've got a result. They see it for themselves. And that's, I think, the biggest thing that we can do. Nikki is just a product that you experience. You just don't wear it, you get results. And you experience those results in a profound, in a pretty fast way. And so I could go into a lot more of the science behind what we do, but frequencies are frequencies. It's the way that we package them, it's the way that we bring them into the Nikki, and it's the way we deliver them into the body. Because your cellular network, that's who we're speaking to. And we're getting the results that are profound. And so in saying all of that, I'd like to just kind of open it up, because it's easier if there's questions that I can address versus just keep telling you stories about our product, because they're endless. And everybody who uses Nikki gets results. Everybody. And we never get any kind of returns. We've got a store that's opening up, and it's the first frequency store. And there's going to be hundreds of programs that are going to be released. And when you've got a Nikki, we're saying you can come into our store for a year and use any program that you want. If you want something for your thyroid, if you want something for the sleep or the stress or inflammation, we've got data that talks about inflammation. And our inflammation, when you use a Nikki, it drops. Doctors are saying they've never seen inflammation drop as low as it goes with a technology such as what we've got. And so, and I believe that inflammation is one of the precursors to all disease. And so if you start dealing with those types of things in this realm, you're going to see results that you just don't see in other attempts in trying to get them. And so I'd like to say thank you for this, and if there's any questions, I'd sure like to address the questions. Say that again? Well, we learned when we were dealing with Lyme disease, that's the basis of everything that we do, on what frequencies are going to be able to deal with each issue. Lyme disease isn't just one thing. Lyme disease is a matter of several co-infections. When you've got Lyme disease, your immune system's compromised, and you get things like mold that comes in. It's not a co-infection, but mold can be as bad as Lyme disease when your immune system's compromised like that. And so we've got some technology that allows us to be able to see and find the low spots in your system, the places that we don't look for, we don't get moved by the symptoms. We go after your weakest system, and that's what we start to build from. And so we start to identify the frequencies, and we've got a great team of doctors that help us go down that path. Yes. Well, I think that the biggest things still stem from Lyme disease. The chronic diseases that we deal with, that's more on a clinical basis, where Nikki is more of a general wellness technology. The clinical basis, we've got 8,100 clinics in the US that prescribe Nikki, and they choose the frequencies. We put those frequencies on for them, and they do through prescription. I'm not a doctor. I work on the general wellness side of things, but we do have a medical platform that uses Nikki and the frequencies that they believe they need to help with, whether it's a thyroid. One of our partners has the largest integrative clinic in the United States, and they deal with the cancers, the chronic diseases, things where people don't have much hope, and everybody has to use a Nikki. That's not all they use, but they use that as a main support, because when the patient leaves the facility, they have a Nikki on with the prescription that the doctors have put on to enhance that. But that's not something that I do as a company. That's something that the doctors are doing. Well, that's a tricky one. We would put you in touch with Dr. Leigh-Erin Keneally. And we've got, she's the one that has that particular clinic. And she would be able to take you down a path of which frequencies and programs that they use to overcome. And they do overcome. Nikki is a delivery system. It's not the product that is providing the results, it's delivering the frequencies that deliver the results. And so we've got the general programs in play, but we're very specific when it comes to those types of applications as far as what they want us to put on, not what we put on. Yes. Yes, you'll be able to see some studies on the website that go through her clinic as well. You'll also get to, you're going to see in March, we were invited to be part of a documentary. And the documentary is on frequencies. It's the second one that they've done. It's called Superhuman is the first one. And that was about the unexplained. The second one is Superhuman 2. And that is about frequencies. And we were invited to participate in that. It's got people like Joe Dispenza and Deepak Chopra, Bruce Lipton. There's a dozen very interesting characters on that documentary talking about frequencies and how they do use frequencies. They invited us to come on, and we're the only technology that's on that particular documentary. And they've named our technology the Wellness Technology of the Year, because of the results that they see themselves and the results that the people that follow them get when they use our programs. The ones that they're promoting in this documentary are around meditation. And it's interesting on how we captured those particular programs, and they got a 124% increase in efficacy from the regular meditation program versus putting it on the Nikki, because we're having a conversation with your cellular network. And everybody knows the power of a word, how it can influence so many things. All you have to do is listen to your music, and you see how that influences the way your body even reacts. And so we're having a private conversation with your cellular network, and it's fascinating what the body's able to do as far as healing itself. But when you've got things going on like with your vagus nerve, this is another thing that we learned with Lyme disease. The vagus nerve it's totally inactive. And what that tells us is that your parasympathetic is totally inactive. So you have no natural ability to heal while you sleep. And so we wake those things up. and people start to have that experience. We've got a great program, and it's called the Vegas program, and that's just one of many programs that are being launched at the end of this month in the store. And we want people to experience, because I can give you all kinds of information, but there's nothing like experiencing it. If you have a Nikki, pick a program, and you're going to see change. And that's where people win, because that's what we're about. We're about creating change and creating longevity, biohacking issues, particularly the issues that you're tracking. And that's what we're extremely good at. And we support every frequency-based technology that's out there. It fits because it's so convenient. People are lazy. I mean, they are. This here, you pick the frequency program that you want, and you turn it on and forget about it. I wear mine 23 hours a day. And if I were to roll up my sleeves right now, I've got 3 Nikis on either arm. And the reason that I do that is because I want to run a different program, but I want to run them all at once. And our technology just shifted where you can create your own playlist, so you can go into the store and you can pick something for a daytime program and something for a nighttime program. So it's just one click, and you don't have to worry about it, and your body is receiving those benefits. And we've got lots of data to support what we're saying, but the best part of the data that we get is the data from people that already have wearables, that are trying to find a solution to the issues that they discover, and they find Nikki is solving those issues. Any other questions? Yes. Oh, I can't hear you. The company's based in Canada, but we've had some very interesting opportunities presented to us here based on results that people are getting. And so we are setting up probably head office in this market. We're going to manufacture and hopefully supply the world from this market. We've got a manufacturing facility in China for supplying the Asian market. We're opening up in the US to supply the North American market. And so it's going to be interesting. Our company is in a very rapid growth stage. And it doesn't matter who uses it. I went on a cruise since I've been here because I wanted to just take a look and get to know the market a little bit. And the cruise director bought a Nikki while I was on the cruise. And they are so enamored with the results that they're getting. They're in port tomorrow here in Dubai, and they've reached out and asked for a half-day meeting, and they're coming off the boat to meet with me because of the results. And I don't know exactly where it's going to go, but I know that they would like to get this, one, for sale on the ships, but primarily they'd like to get it on their teams, the staff, because you don't get sick. I don't think I've been sick where I've had to step away from work since 2017. I have a program that's called the respiratory program, and we just never get sick. My team never gets sick. And if you wear it consistently, those are the results you're going to get. Frequencies aren't something where you can just wear it once in a while and hope for a result. You need balance. You need to get the balance within your system. And once your system's balanced, then it's crazy on the results that you get from whatever program that you run. But without balance, you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. But we get that balance for you very quickly. You have to use it. If a doctor says, hey, here's some antibiotics, you need to take these for 7 days every day or 14 days. If you don't take them the way he says, what's the result? You don't get better. And so use the technology. It's designed for easy use. Use it every day, and things will change. We're tied into the NFL in the US, the NHL, the NBA. Like, these players notice the results. And it's not just a team, it's a league. And so the way, just to really quickly with the NFL, they've got their own technology, and they use it for play calling. So every player next year is going to get a sleeve. And on that sleeve, there's a flexible screen. And they all go into their huddle. They all look at their forearms. And the coach sends in the play from his iPad. No more calling out the numbers. But more importantly, they track their vitals while they play. And they reached out to us and said, hey, can you put your technology in ours so we can give them energy, we can give them focus, we can de-stress their systems, we can deal with inflammation, and whatever else it is that they're looking to do while they play. And this is something that is happening. It's a trend that's starting to go in the sports world all over the world. And that's because of results. Everything we do is based on the result of the person that's using a Nicky. And every person that uses a Nicky seems to get those results. We never get returns. If I was to count returns, I would say maybe 6. We never get returns out of thousands. And those people that return them buy them back within 30 days because they realize, oh my goodness, there was something good that was coming from the Nicky that their body was experiencing. And so, you know, we're a young company. Well, the company's young. And I was just a desperate dad. That's how this all came to pass. But we are changing the way you heal. And you've got a device that you can put on your wrist that's like a plant-based pharmacy on your wrist where you can choose in the moment the programs that you want to use. There's nothing like what we do anywhere. And will there be? I don't know. We've got patents on the things that we do. But one thing that I do know is it's a little tricky, but we had to find a path for Lyme disease, and nobody has been able to do that. And so, thank you.